Figure we do a quick live stream today, probably about 15-20 minutes, something along those lines. I'll give you guys time to come in. If you're watching this after the fact, I'm beginning to two-tone the car, and it's too late to turn back. So here we are, and basically what I want to do in this live stream is answer any questions that I can for you now that you're going to have when it comes to like two-toning a car if you guys want to do it, and then also try to include that into the video when we put it out. So what's going on, Brian? Let's go ahead and turn this thing around. So here's where we're at right now. We just got the car taped up, and so what we're going to do from here is add plastic, but is there around the whole car before we spray it. I'm in the process of scuffing it up right now. So what's going on, Murphy's Law? Landon, is there anything that you guys need to know, want to know about this process? I've covered the grits already. I'm going to cover the paint, where I got that from, what I'm using. But is there any techniques or anything that you guys need to know about this? No, this is not Andrew's car. This is my car. Andrew's car is actually out here chilling. He did get his windows tinted, though. I'll try to include a little piece of that in the video for you guys. So he got his windows tinted now, so it's looking real good. So whatever questions, okay, what do we use to scuff? So Johnny, I did cover that, but I'll go ahead and show you guys right now. What I use to scuff is a combination of stuff. So red Scotch-Brite is what I start with, but red Scotch-Brite is a little too coarse for silver. If you guys don't know, if you're spraying silver, you really need something like a 500 to 600 grit, maybe even 800 depending on what you're doing. But you can start with the red and you can finish out with this. But I still don't recommend you guys sanding the whole ground effects with this. That's not, it just doesn't work very good. Let me show you. Let me give you an example here. Just real quick, because I don't think I included this in the video. So you got Scotch-Brite, and you're going to scuff this whole thing up, right? We want to knock all of the shine off. Here's the problem with this stuff. See how uneven it is? You guys see the strokes here? Now watch when I wipe it off. That's not very good, is it? That's not going to work if you're trying to spray a car and you want the paint to stay on it. This is good for corners. Like up through here, can push down. It's good in cracks and crevices like that. And it's also good down here in your letters. Outside of that, I really don't recommend that you scuff the whole car with that. What I recommend if you're just going to be scuffing by hand is some of these 3M Superfine pads right here. That works really good to scuff the whole car. Or there again, you can always go to a DA with some sandpaper on that, run it down the car. It all depends on what color you're spraying as to what grit. Like I said, high metallics, silvers, you really need to go no lower than about 500 on your grit. If the car's going to be red or white or whatever, man, you can use 400 and you're fine there. 320 on a DA is a little too coarse for this because this is going to be a high metallic silver or medium silver, I guess. So 320 is too coarse unless, of course, you want to do 320 and then come back with like a 500 on top of that. Of course, that would be fine. I am not sealing or priming the car because we have clear coat on the bottom of this car right now, right? We have base coat, clear coat, and I have had really good luck in the past with just scuffing up what we have and then shooting our base over the top of that, especially for like ground effects. That works good. The more paint and the more stuff you keep putting on this thing, the more susceptible it's going to be to chipping. So you really don't want to put any more primer or sealer or anything, in my personal opinion. All right, so Zach Cleon says, when you were sanding or scuffing the car, are you trying to get past the clear right down to the paint? No. All you're wanting to do is knock the shine off of the clear coat. That's all you're wanting to do here. So like right here, see how we have a uniform dull finish? That's what you want. You're not trying to get down past the clear coat. You want to be beautiful. I appreciate it, Bama 50. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sealer, guys. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of sealer. And it's probably just because I'm just not good at using it. But sealer can get you in trouble. because sealer is not sandable. So when you put that down, if it's not slick and it's not perfectly smooth, you're screwed. You can sand sealer, but yeah, it can become a nightmare, I should say. Let's see. I'm iffy on FTO at this moment. I think I got a text from you. I'll check out what you sent on that Mustang Guy 6501. I hope you can make it, man. What size air compressor do you need for ground effects? Man, you can get away with like a little 20-gallon air compressor. Honestly, even less, really. The issue with the smaller air compressors is volume. It's not pressure, it's volume. So what happens is with a smaller tank and a smaller air compressor, it's going to have to run more often, and when it runs, it builds heat, which is going to build condensation. So make sure that you have at very least one of these right here on the bottom of your gun. You can pick those up from your paint store. It's just a little water separator. But yeah, you could probably do this with possibly even a 10-gallon air compressor. Something from Harbor Freight would work for what we're doing right here. No big deal. Why do you paint all Fox bodies two-tone? Because two-tones are the shit. Two-tones, that's where it's at, guys. I love two-tone Fox bodies. I love GTs. As most of you know, I'm not big on coupes. I like a LX hatchback, okay, but I just love two-tone GTs. They are the epitome of the Fox body Mustang from back in the day to me. Now, a solid car is fine, but ever since I painted this car, it needed something else. So I just absolutely love it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. You know, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's just mine. Let's see. About how much paint would it take for the ground effects? It takes about a quart of paint for the ground effects. It depends on the mixture too. The stuff I'm using is actually 2-to-1 mixture, so I get a quart and a half out of it. So that's plenty to do the ground effects, especially considering they're already a gray. So there's not going to be that much of a difference between what I'm using. Now, I will tell you guys the color that I'm using. I won't show you a picture, so you're welcome to look it up if you want to. And some of you even have this color on probably one of your trucks or your Fords, Mustang or whatever. So I will be using Iconic Silver on the bottom of the car. So we'll save all that though for the big reveal, but it should look pretty good. And I will show you the stripe. So this is our stripe. It's always hard to tell what color this is. It's going to look just like Andrew's car or my red car, but it's not. This is a dark red. So that's what we're going to be using to separate this. Now, something that I do want to mention to everybody is I typically would not do this. I don't like doing it this way, but I kind of want to try it to see if it'll work, because this saves you so much time and it saves you money as well. So I left the door molding on the car. Typically, that does not turn out good when you do that. It's just the way the paint lays in, because there is, if you look down in here in this door molding, you guys see that? That's the tape. And debris and everything else kind of gets down in there, and the tape is, let's see if I can show you guys. See right there how it's wavy in there? So when you spray that other color, especially silver, it tends to stand out that way. The best thing to do here is just to rip those things off, paint them separately, and then put them back on the car. That's the best way to do this, but I'm gonna try it this way. I have done it before and the results were okay, but guys, I don't know, do this at your own risk. We're gonna try it, and if it doesn't work out, we're gonna rip these things off and then come back. Make it work for sure. Cigars, booze, and news. What's going on, Big D? I appreciate it. The coupe life is not for everyone. No, it's not. I don't dislike coupes. I just, I've always been a GT guy, so that's all it is for me. What paint coat are you using on the bottom? I got to redo my silver. So Fox Body Boys, I'm using, shit, I don't even know what it is. It's Iconic Silver. It's like E7 or Y7. What is this? I don't even know where I put it at. I'll put it in the video. What did I do with the paint? Making me, oh, it's down here. It is JS. So JS is the paint code, and like I said, this is Iconic Silver. So, all right. And the top color is Carbonized Gray, which is M7. Anything else that you guys want to know, I think I've covered most everything in the video up to this point. Let's see. Big stretch or liquid nails whole paint. I don't know what you're talking about there. You lost me on that. What happened, Neo? I wrecked the car, and I'm having to completely repaint the bottom half of it. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Will a 3-gallon compressor work for painting? It can. On ground effects, I mean, you can almost get away with like almost any size compressor. But I would definitely not do anything other than ground effects. If you get up to the top half of this car, absolutely not. It will not work. Bare minimum 25-gallon air compressor. Bare minimum if you're going to be painting a whole car. Let's see here. Where do you get your masking tape from? So I get all my masking tape from our local paint and body store. It's called Ken's Pro Colors. That's where I get all my stuff from. Just, you know, buy it by the roll here like this. Also, something else, if you guys are, I guess, interested in something like this. I mean, this is really handy to have. A little paper tree or whatever you want to call it, tape tree. But you can just pull your paper off and then do this. Now, this car will have plastic wrapped all over it, okay? I don't want you guys to think that I'm going to try to spray this car with this. The reason why this paper is here is simply so that if I get real heavy up through here, I know I've got paper back behind this that's meant for this. Also, as I'm scuffing the car, because you wait until you tape it up to scuff it. And also, if I'm scuffing, I'm not ripping my plastic. So I just kind of leave this here first and then come back in and lay plastic over the whole car. What's going on, Dustin? Are you wetting the floor? Yes, Chris. I'll dampen the floor down with, honestly, something real simple like this. This has got some degreaser in it, and I'll probably just honestly come out here like this, wet the floor down real quick, and it'll be fine. Something I want you guys to remember, depending on how picky you are, is they're just ground effects. They're just essentially bumpers and then side skirts, ground effects. So you know, issues down here doesn't really catch the eye. Now, if you have a show car, I would never recommend you do this in your garage or in your driveway or whatever. But for me, these are all drivers, and I'm not too worried about it. So, but I mean, the ground effects on this car, they've got trash and stuff in them anyway, but nobody ever notices it unless you're just an asshole and you pick it out, you know. But let's see. Have you decided on what wheel yet? Yes, I decided on the wheels. I do have those. Ken's a good guy. Yes, he is, Bama 5-0. He is a great guy. Let's see. Since you like to change colors a bunch, why not do vinyl? Lance, I'm going to be honest with you. I hate vinyl. I hate it. I think it's the most silly thing ever, and I'm going to tell you why. The amount of money you pay for vinyl is crazy to get it done. Now, if you're wrapping your car yourself, that's cool. I can appreciate that. But if you're paying somebody to wrap a car, I think that's just the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life. You could literally go out, teach yourself to do your own paint and body work, and buy your paint, buy your compressor, buy your gun, and almost build a freaking little makeshift shop to spray your car in for the price that people charge to wrap cars. It doesn't last, and I'm just not a fan of it. But that's just my opinion on it. But, you know, if you're doing it yourself, that's cool. I'm just not good at it. Paint job on Andrew's car looks great. What's the clear? So I use Auto Coat 6101. This is what I use as far as clear. Let's see. Where is it at? I think that's it right there. I'll show you guys what it looks like, because I think I showed it in the last video, but right here. That's the clear that I use. I love this clear. Let me show you guys something. Any of you that know paint and body work, and I know a lot of you do that are watching, check this out. Now, before I show you this, I want to tell you that I tinted this clear coat, meaning I put a little bit of black paint in it because I was doing, I think, tail lights or something, or I can't remember. Check this out, though. Look at that. That's the clear coat that I use. Look how thick that is. And look at that. No cracking, nothing. That is really good clear coat. Any of you guys that know anything about paint and body work, you get it. Good stuff. Now, like I said, it does have a tint to it because of that, but it's crystal clear other than that. So there you go. Good stuff. And that's the 6101. All right. Anyone know a decent machine shop? Okay. East half of Oklahoma. Christopher, I sure wouldn't. I'm down here in LA, lower Alabama, that is. And on a Mustang body kit, it's crazy hard to do. Mine suck. Pretties, I don't guess I understand. Let's see. Maker's Mark rims going on. I wish, man. I don't have that kind of money, though. What's the paint code on the bottom of Andrew's car? I'm not sure what the paint code is. It's over there somewhere. But it is a magnetic Toyota magnetic gray. I'm not sure the paint code, but look it up. It's I don't know. It was a color I was originally going to put on my car, and then Andrew ended up using it on his. What else we got? I'm really here to answer questions. Have you decided on the wheels? I have. No yellowing, yes. If you're commenting about the clear coat, absolutely no yellowing. It doesn't crack up and shrink up. It's just really, it's a real high solids clear. What do you think about Harbor Freight spray guns? Johnny, they're fine. No issue there. It's all in the painter. It has nothing really to do with the gun. Well, obviously you need to find a gun that sprays good for you, but it's all going to come down to your air cap and your fluid tip. If you've got, like, my dad's got a Black Widow. I think it's over there. He's got a Black Widow that he loves, and a Black Widow's a great gun. But also, for the same money, you could just go out and buy that Kiwami, which is what I recommend that you do. But yeah, man, any of those guns, if you learn to spray with them, they're fine. I'm not gonna sit here and bash those guns at all. Let's see. That was my first job. What's the paint code on the Calypso? I can't remember what it is. It's just Calypso green from, I think, 89 or 90 or something like that. How much time do you think until the 65 is done? It'll be later this year. She's just chilling out there right now, so it'll be later on this year. Yeah, see, Matthew says that his dad can lay down some paint with a Harbor Freight gun. See, guys, don't get caught up in shit like that. You know, in expensive guns. And man, I've got a $600 freaking whatever the hell that thing is in there, GTI Pro Light, that I got imported here. So it's a true GTI Pro Light, and yeah, it doesn't make you a better painter. Trust me. What's up from Cali? What's going on over there in Cali? Let's see. They're never done. No, they are definitely not. How long might it take to get this job done? Okay, so that's a good point. Something like this is going to take, I don't know, if you've got a friend with you to help you, wash the car real quick, put it up on jack stands, pop the wheels off, tape it up, scuff it, put your base coat, put your clear coat. I mean, you could probably do this in 4 hours, you know, realistically. Give yourself 6 hours. It's really no problem. You could do it in as little as probably 2 hours, 3 hours. Honestly, I mean, you really could if you had somebody to help you and you just jumped on it. I've been taking my time on it all day, so I'm not rushing anything. Let's see. What are some channels you watch to help with painting? Great question, Lance. So, Paint Society, Sprayway Customs, The Gunman, any of those guys will give you wonderful, wonderful tips on how to paint. And it never hurts, no matter how good of a painter you are, it never hurts, guys, to watch somebody else and try to learn from them, because you may have a technique that you've been using for years, and that's the only technique you know, right? You think that's the best for you until you see somebody do something different, and then you try that technique and it actually works better for you. Like, for instance, I don't walk the whole car. Now, if you're doing a pearl coat, a mid-coat kind of car, a candy, yes, you really need to walk the whole car. But there are techniques in how you can flick the gun to where you don't actually have to walk the whole car or even a whole panel sometimes that I learned, I want to say, from the Gunman, if I'm not mistaken. But there's just so many different techniques out there. Air pressure, how to spray whenever it's cold versus how to spray when it's hot, because there's a difference in that. So there's a lot of guys out there that can help you guys out. Sprayway has some good, yes, he does. I love Sprayway. Matter of fact, he watches the channel. So I appreciate him for checking in with us from time to time. Kind of off topic, does your garage have an insulated roof? Man, I have no. Bro, this thing is a tin can. Okay, it is hot in here. It's already hot in here right now. No insulation. Here's my thoughts on the insulation. I've had so many people ask, well, why don't you put insulation in? Why don't you do this? Because this isn't a hangout spot. Although we had a couch and a TV, but it's truly not a hangout spot. I come out here to get work done, and I need to go inside. I don't want to be out here too comfortable, air conditioning. You know, then you never want to do anything, right? You hate to roll the doors up to even get a car in or out. You get lazy. This keeps you honest in a shop like this when it's hot or when it's really cold. You get your ass out here, you get to work, and you go back inside. Does it ever sweat? No, not really. Sometimes it will. It actually sweats more with this side that's painted versus that side that's not painted. That side that's not painted, the concrete will soak up a little bit of the moisture. This over here, it will actually just sit on top of the paint. So it does sweat from time to time, but it's not bad. About to pick up an 89 just for Ford takeover. Really? Gonna need paint? Hell yeah, man. You get it, Ronnie. Get after it. Humidity plays a big role when painting as well. Yes, it does. Guys, never paint anything in high humidity or if it's raining. I mean, unless you've got a separate booth that's heated and everything else. No, just stay away from that. Today, it's kind of humid, but we'll be just fine today. You can spray when it's humid, but you're going to have to come back and at least buff the car once you're done, because it will give you a slight haze if you're not careful. Let's see. Did I ever get the brakes figured out on the Carbon Fox? Good question, Bobby. No, I didn't. So this is what we're going to try. I've been meaning to do a video on this. So we're going to try this little vacuum reservoir canister right here from Jegs. It was only like 48 bucks. So we're going to put that on the Carbon Fox when we're done doing this, and also a couple other things. But good question, and that reminded me that we need to get that video done. I want to say I appreciate you, Brutal. Truly inspired me to get off my behind and fix my Fox. Johnny, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. That's my whole job here. That's what I want to do, is inspire you guys. I really, really want to try to help as I can. YouTube is being stupid, made the live brother. Dustin, I don't know what's going on with YouTube and the live streams, but they just never seem to send out notifications to anybody. Half the people just don't even know that we're doing it. We do have 117 people in the house, though, and I do appreciate you guys. If you're just joining in, I'm asking you guys to ask me whatever questions it is that you have on mainly two-toning a car. Like if you wanted to do this yourself, what questions would you have so that I can film it and knock this out in this video? Because I'm about to get to probably in paint here in about an hour and a half. Nothing to it but to do it. Exactly, Carl. Exactly. Nothing to it but to do it. If you make the shop too comfortable, the wife and kids start moving in and taking over. It's better, ugly, and dangerous. Yeah. They still come out here and chill and sit. I mean, my poor old couch, when I first got this thing, it stayed clean for a pretty good while, but look at this. And this keeps most people from coming out here and getting too comfortable when they see my old couch over here. They're like, I think I'm good. So let's see. Anybody ever had a problem with the water pump leaking above the lower radiator hose? Above the lower radiator hose, that's probably going to be the weep hole more than likely, I guess. But it is what it is, man. At that point, if you keep having problems, man, maybe you got a piece of gasket that's stuck, that didn't come off, and when you put it back on, it's leaking around it, or it could just be a bad water pump coming out of the weep hole. Best way to remove painted pinstripes. Best way to remove painted pinstripes is literally just sanding them down. That's the only thing you can do if they're painted. Sand them down and blend it all in. So Bama50 says he got the notification this time. Let's see. I got mine started yesterday. It's a 95 Mustang blow-through. You and Neo inspired me basically. Hey, cool, man. I appreciate that, Matthew. We actually took a ride in the Calypso last night. And guys, I just want to tell you once again how impressed I am with that Calypso and how it runs and drives. I talk about it a little bit in the next video. But guys, I don't know how to explain it. It runs as good and as smooth, actually more smooth than it did when it was fuel injected. Now it's a carburetor. You're going to have issues. It's going to arise at some point, but you're going to have problems with anything else that you got. So, all right, a couple more, and I'm going to go ahead and get off here. Sean, I appreciate that. Two-tone for the win. Add the red stripe. Yes. So if you guys didn't see it, here's the color stripe that we're going to be running, which is actually a dark red. So it's going to be a little different. You probably won't notice unless they're all side by side. I've got an all-white GT, thinking about black pinstripe around the molding. Yes, absolutely. If you guys are wondering where I get my pinstripes from, I'll include it in the next video for the Monday video. But I get my stuff from Auto Trim Designs. So Auto Trim Designs here in Dothan, Alabama. If you guys want some of this stuff, you can look him up online. Auto Trim Designs in Dothan. He's just a good friend of mine, known him forever and ever and ever. We used to actually kind of pinstripe together, and he's still doing it after 36 years, guys. He is still out there pinstriping for businesses, for people, tinting windows, doing, you know, painting. Well, not say painting body work, but a little bit of paint work for people. He's a big Dodge guy. We won't hold that against him, but Jeff Drummer is his name, and he is freaking awesome. So any of you guys around this local area, if you need anything, look him up. If you need stripes for your Mustang, he knows what goes in them and the width and the colors and all that stuff. So I just want to give him a big shout out because, you know, people like him are what keep all this stuff going. He's still out there getting after it to this day. I need a green Brutal shirt for us SN95 guys to support. Why you need a green one, man? Different is good. I don't want to be, yeah, just like everyone else. What hood are you running on the Carbon Fox? It's a double R hood. Cobra R, what's the other? Double R hood and I guess it's just a Cobra R hood, whatever. They go by a bunch of different names depending on who you talk to. Best way to two-tone an LX like Papa T's. Same concept. You guys can two-tone a coupe. You can two-tone a hatchback. It doesn't have to be a GT. You can put your stripes in there. Obviously, on your coupes and your older model Fox bodies, your stripes are going to be a little thinner, but you can absolutely do anything. AOD transmission, did you ever set TV pressure with a gauge? No, Liam. So I did not do that, and I honestly don't recommend you guys focusing on that. If you've got an AOD, don't get so caught up on trying to set TV line pressure, and I'll tell you why. No, that can get you in a little bit of trouble. You need to do what the transmission needs for you to do. The transmission needs to react the way it needs to. It needs to shift when it needs to and when you want it to. And the way to do that is just upping line pressure until you get to where you want. And I can give you an example of this. I can't really go into detail. I don't remember verbatim what he said, but the guy that built the transmission warned me of this. He's like, you can hook a gauge up and you can try to get it precise. He said, but I've done it before and I ended up with a transmission that did not shift properly. He said, I was very unhappy with it. So what I did was went in and started raising line pressure until the car reacted the way that I wanted to, and everything was good. And that really kind of hit home with me because, once again, we get so caught up on the right way to do things and by the book, but by the book doesn't always work for everybody. So you may go in and you may set this thing to what it's supposed to be, and then the car never really runs right, and you think you have an issue when you really and truly could just up the line pressure a little bit and be fine. Now, you could argue against, I guess, well, something must be wrong with it, but that's not always the case. So more line pressure on these cars is typically fine. You just keep bumping it up until you get it to where you like it. Low line pressure is what will burn these things up. Sorry, brother, my SN is about to be finished. MS3 Pro installed, and she sounds so good. Yes, absolutely, man. What's that? Toenail Cupcake? What a name, man. What a name. Leaking between timing cover and pump consistently, no matter what I do. Oh, man, Wayne. Leaking between. Are you using the right gasket? And I don't mean to make it sound like you don't know what you're doing, but you have to use the right gasket. And I used to be bad about putting the wrong gasket on it every time. I don't have it over here right now, but you have got to use the proper gasket because there's two of them in there. Usually that'll work, and it will freaking pour if you use the wrong one. Anybody else ever done that? You ever use the wrong gasket on your timing cover and then you put everything together and it pours freaking water out? God, I used to do that every time, and I'd have to pull it apart and use the other gasket. And I thought I would learn eventually, but I never really did. Okay, guys, look, I'm going to wrap this up. Well, I mean, I know it's Fel Pro. That's fine, but there's two different style gaskets in there a lot of times. And I just can't show you which one it is that I'm talking about. I don't have a timing chain cover gasket, but that's more than likely a possibility. Because here's the issue with that. You either have a very galled up surface to where it won't match up, or either you have the wrong gasket. I mean, it's really, that's your only option. Now, I always run RTV around my timing chain cover on both sides. I run just a little bit, just smear some on. And if it's a gasket issue or an imperfection in either in your block or in your timing chain cover, that'll fix the problem for you, and you can go ahead and squish this thing down. If that doesn't work, then once again, you're using the wrong gasket. Howdy from Texas. What's going on, Louie? Let's see. Been there with the gasket thing. So, Chuck, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Mustang Guy 6501, we'll see you. Yeah, it's pouring out. Oh, look at that. 19 months, folks. So, he's been a member for 19 months. That's awesome. So, if you guys don't know, we do have we have a members package, or you can subscribe to it. There's a little join button. You can join the members. We don't do a lot over there. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to try to sell it to you like, oh, you get all this extra insider stuff. You really don't. Every once in a while, I'll post some stuff. It's just your way to help the channel out if you want to help the channel. And also, you do get videos early. You get videos up to 2 to 3 days early sometimes before everybody else. Now, outside of that, guys, no real big perks. But just letting you know that it's there as an option. So I do appreciate it. Nashville, Tennessee. Whoop, whoop. All right, guys, look, I said that was it, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Stay tuned for the Monday video. I always kind of hate doing these live streams whenever we do this because essentially Monday's video is going to be the same thing. We're going to be, taping the car up. We're going to be talking about it. But I just wanted to make sure that we covered everything that we needed to today before I get too involved in this. So I'll go ahead and make sure that we got everything covered for you guys, and we'll get that video out for you Monday. And hopefully this car will be two-toned. I will show you in Monday's video it two-toned. I might not have a chance to show you with the stripe on it yet, but either way. All right, guys. Appreciate you watching. And as always, well, thanks for watching. That was wrong.